In chapter 13, we have Matthew's big focus on parables. So it's worth just taking a moment to explore what is a parable and what do I do with a parable. In the simplest sense, the parables are teaching stories. Stories with a clear message. And we need to allow the parables to be simply this, to not overcomplicate them. We need to look and to delve into the words of the parable to see what is it that the storyteller is trying to tell us. What is this truth or this teaching? Now we can explore stories and parables on many different levels, and many of you and many of us will have spent lots of time prayerfully reflecting on parables and will have found all sorts of different truths and analogies and images which will have helped us on our journey. And that's good and proper and right and to be encouraged. But we also need to make sure that we know what that simple truth that is in the parable is, particularly when Matthew is putting a series of these parables together, the stories of Jesus. And he's trying to teach us something. We need to make sure we know what that is. It's like the danger of exploring the parable that Luke writes on the prodigal son. That they have the image of the father waiting for the son to return. Now we rightly read that, the truth being that God is patient with us, but that he is committed for us, and his whole focus and energy and everything he has is on us, longing for us to return, rather than reading it as God somehow just sits around doing nothing whilst we go off on our adventures, making our mistakes. He just wanders up and down the road, not doing a lot. That would be a poor reading of the story and missing the truth that Jesus is trying to get across. The parables are understandable if we have the eyes and the ears of faith. If our hearts are hardened, then we can't see or hear the truth, or we can't accept the truth of God's love for us. And so the parables don't make any sense to us if our hearts are hardened. So we need to pray for our hearts to be made new, so that we can hear and understand the words. And we need to allow the parables to make our hearts new. Parables are also a great teaching tool, because in engaging with the story, we discover the truth for ourselves, rather than simply being told it. And because the parables are so memorable, it's easy for us to pass that on to other people and to enable them to discover the truth for themselves too.